Is criticizing Broward County for the mysteriously appearing ballots in this election 3 days after Tuesday's elections. He's now calling for the removal of her, the supervisor of elections, Brenda Snipes. Congressman Gaetz says Snipes has failed to follow state transparency laws. Joining me now, Congressman Matt Gaetz, member of the House Judiciary and Armed Services Committee. Congressman, I've got to say, looking at her record, what in the world is she doing in the job?
Lou, it's like we've got a banana republic down here in Broward County. Just hours ago, a judge ruled that Brenda Snipes violated the Florida Constitution by not allowing citizens to have access to basic records that were supposed to be produced. Easy stuff, Lou, like how many ballots were cast, and who cast them, and where were they cast? This is something that almost every other supervisor of elections, 65 out of 67, were able to get all of this information right in a matter of hours. We're now days later. Brenda Snipes, after getting a court order that she had to allow us to inspect that information, well, the deadline for that court order was 7 o'clock, the top of your show, and she has not complied with it. So when I'm done here, we're going to go and get motions for contempt prepared, and we're going to be back in front of a judge to hold Brenda Snipes in contempt of court for not following court orders and not following the Florida Constitution. The question is, what is Governor Rick Scott going to do about it? I think he needs to immediately suspend her and put this office into the receivership of the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State is the chief elections officer in Florida and was confirmed by a broad bipartisan majority of the Florida Senate. This lady cannot do the job. She is either incompetent or corrupt, and I don't want to wait around and find out which it is.
Well, it might be both.
It could be.
It's stunning to me that she's still in office. How could that be after what she has not done, what she has done? As you pointed out, she defied a court order, broke her constitutional duty. I mean, what more does she have to do?
That is a really appropriate question for Governor Rick Scott. I hope that Governor Rick Scott isn't scared that since he's a candidate, he shouldn't fulfill the duties of the governor, because 8 million ballots were cast in Florida, Lou, and my constituents who did it right, my supervisors of elections who followed the law, we should not have our votes diluted by the corruption and by the terrible illegal behavior here in Broward County. This is always the place where it's a problem, and it's because the people working in this building are either too stupid or too corrupt to do their job. So I think we ought to remove them immediately, and then we ought to have the state's Secretary of State come in, put the office in receivership, and I think America deserves to know how many people voted in Broward County. I think we deserve to know whether or not they voted in person or absentee or vote by mail, because only that transparency allows us to be able to identify voter fraud and ballot stuffing and illegal activity. If you play hide the ball with the ballots, then we can never catch you committing the fraud.
Well, exactly right. But I mean, here we go again. It's been 18 years since the Gore v. Bush, and here we are with Broward and Palm Beach County in much the same position. It must be a strong
Yeah, you mentioned
habit.
Palm Beach, Lou. Earlier today, Palm Beach County lost a case in court because they were allowing the supervisor of elections to unilaterally decide whether or not damaged ballots would be counted or not counted. In Florida, the law requires the canvassing board to make that decision. So they're making up their own rules down here in Palm Beach and Broward. They've literally spoken 80,000 ballots into existence. We have no chain of custody for those ballots. We have no reconciliation of the ballots that were voted versus left blank. And this is the ecosystem that allows corruption to flourish. And I'm here to make sure it doesn't happen, because my constituents didn't do it wrong, and our votes shouldn't be diluted by corruption and malfeasance in Palm Beach and Broward County.
Well, good luck to you. Good luck to the Republican Party. By the way, assure me, there are GOP attorneys running all over that place now, right?
I can tell you this, I've seen a number of Democrats come in and out of the office. They have armed security guards outside that stopped me when I wanted to take video of something being loaded in and out of trucks here at the very office. And so these are really bizarre tactics that they're using. And you know what, Lou? It's because they've probably screwed it up. I don't know if there was fraud or if there was just incompetence, but either way, it's really bad news in there, and we better make sure that this election is not stolen from the people of Florida who elected Republicans. You know, like, this is the new path of the resistance, Lou. They tried to disrupt our town halls. We passed tax reform anyway. The economy grew. They said there was going to be a blue wave. We met it with a red wall, and now they're trying to steal the elections that they can't win with the voters.
Well, early voting